Hello, I'm Lala Rimando. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. This is Talk Thursday. We're here at the Diosdado Macapagal International Airport in Clark, Pampanga, to witness the inaugural flight of AirAsia Philippines, the local unit of Asia's biggest budget carrier. This day has long been awaited. AirAsia Berhad has been operating here in Clark since 2005, but as a foreign carrier, it can only fly to Malaysia. As a local carrier, AirAsia Philippines can fly to any domestic destination. Since August 2011, this brand new Airbus plane of AirAsia Philippines has been sitting idle in Clark Airport. Group CEO Tony Fernandez says their patience is paying off. After almost 7 months, the maiden flight of AirAsia's local airline finally took off with almost 200 passengers bound for the paradise island of Boracay.
Hi everyone, I'm Tony Fernandez. On behalf of AirAsia Group, thank you for choosing us. We're going to bring many more flights, many more low flights, so start packing your bags every day. Thank you for flying with us. Now everyone can fly.
It has been a rocky ride for the newest kid on the block. When it started operating as a foreign airline in Clark, the Malaysia-based carrier had to deal with efforts to block it, mostly from local players and lobbyists who felt threatened by the entry of Southeast Asia's biggest budget airline. AirAsia couldn't sell tickets beyond 3 or 4 months because their permits were held back. And when they decided to add Philippines in their growing Asian route network, their operating permit took 7 months to process. But while these are factors beyond AirAsia's control, it promises to be competitive in what it could: low fares and connectivity. From Clark, it will fly to Philippine destinations and plans to add flights to China, Korea, and Japan, which are less than 4 hours away. These are same routes that Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, Airphil Express, and Sea Air are already flying to or have plans to fly to. As competition heats up, Filipino passengers will have more choices and enjoy cheaper fares. Joining us for Talk Thursday are Maan Hontiveros, the CEO of AirAsia Philippines, and Tony Fernandez, the Group CEO of AirAsia Berhad. Hi Maan, hi Tony.
Hi.
Welcome
Hello,
to your first day. An AirAsia aircraft finally was able to take off today.
Philippines AirAsia.
AirAsia Philippines.
Yes.
Yes. So what are your thoughts? We've been talking about this for over a year now, and this day finally came.
I think for me, words can't hide my excitement. The demand from Filipinos wanting to travel, and connectivity was poor. But more importantly, I think we can now, with our network, introduce Philippines to ASEAN and the rest of Asia and the rest of the world. I think there's so much to see here. So it took a while, but all things good take a while. But very happy that we finally saw both our planes take off today, which is good news.
And Maan, you've been overseeing the Philippine operations. You've had a plane here at Clark since August, and it's only now that it's able to take off. How has it been
Well,
like?
I had many nightmares about that, to tell you the truth, and it's been an incredible journey. Okay, but as Tony said, all good things take time. We've been able to finally take off, and all I can say is that building this organization from the ground has been such a fulfilling and challenging task. And today, like Tony, it's very hard for me to express my feeling, but watching that aircraft take off, seeing our cabin crew and our flight deck boarding the aircraft with just proud smiles on their faces, and looking at the passengers all excited about our aircraft is well worth the wait.
Okay. Let's talk about the passengers, because whenever Rappler tweets about this, people respond and are actually excited that a new airline, the 6th budget carrier we have in the Philippines, has finally started operations. How will AirAsia Philippines be different against those competitors, both here in Manila, in the Philippines, and the so many other budget airline carriers we have in Asia?
I think Number one is affordability. We're very keen on making sure that our fares are low all the time and 100% of the time. So I think that's one. Two is we have a much larger network, which Filipinos can now latch onto in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, in Bangkok and Jakarta, which I think can happen. The third one, I think, which is probably the most important, we're not here to compete with other budget carriers. We're here to grow the market. I think today you'll see the launch of 2 brand new routes that have never been done from the Philippines before, never been done from Clark before. AirAsia is about growing the marketplace and bringing new passengers into the marketplace through new routes, through new marketing, and through a consistent low fare product, but also a high quality product.
We set ourselves apart with the way we advertise our low fares. First of all, we make a lot of low fares available. So when we advertise, for instance, free seats, we're not giving away 3-4 free seats. We gave away 22,000 free seats on our first offering. The other way we set ourselves apart is that listening to the complaints of consumers here who feel that budget airlines and low-cost airlines are a little bit deceptive or too marketing clever about their ads when they say 1 peso fare, and then in the small fine print below you see, you know, but plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this. So we've decided, no, we're not going to go that route. We want to be totally transparent, and upfront we'll tell the guest what he expects to pay. So we advertised free seats, and then we put in big banner there, pay only 175 pesos or whatever it is for, then we put it in fuel surcharge, VAT, airport security fee, and service fee for using your credit card. So that's how we distinguish ourselves from the other low-cost carriers here.
You don't deceive people by
Yes, well, you know,
advertising.
I wouldn't say deceive because it's a common practice. You know, when you're selling, you always highlight the good points of why people should come to your website and why you should buy. And most airlines practice that all over the world. So they'll put in smaller print what the additional fares, additional add-ons are. But consumers react badly to that, and so we say we're coming in clean. Let's just start a new trend here, and you know that was discussed throughout the entire group as well, and that's the practice now of AirAsia.
Correct. I mean, well, number one, consumers are probably smarter now anyway, so we try and put everything in the fare. And the other add-ons are add-ons. What we try to do is make flying as affordable as possible. If you want food, you buy it. If you want to carry more bags, you pay for that. Because carrying more bags means the plane is heavier, and so we burn more fuel. So the person who carries no bags is actually subsidizing the guy who's paying bags. So we're really trying to make flying completely democratic, and that you pay for what you only need, and then the rest are optional if you want to.
We Filipinos, we've been wired to respond to an ad or a promo fare, call for a promo fare. That whenever those ads come up, we go to the internet at once and try to, as much as possible, outdo so many others who are trying to book as well. Man, you just mentioned that you have a lot of seats available. So what does that?
When we advertise a fare promo, we'll make sure that, you know, there are a lot of seats that we're giving away on that price range, and not just, you know, advertise at let's say a 10 peso fare and then only put 4 seats available for the 10 peso fare. So we want to be sure that the passengers know that, you know, there is a bargain to be had if they log on, and they log on fast, and they book way ahead of time.
The important thing is, though, that it's not just about promo fares. It's making sure all the fares, of which we have about 20 fares per flight, are low fares, so that even the higher fares are still value. Promo fares, you're a victim of your own success as well. As we become more successful, everyone's trying to get those promo fares.
Yes.
And you can't, you know, keep pace with 100 million people in the country,
right,
plus the outside. So there will be obviously disappointed people. But the key thing is, if you don't get the promo fare, the next fare, the next fare, and the next fare are still value. Our tagline is now everyone can fly. We must have done something right over the last 10 years, because we've gone from 200,000 passengers to 33 million passengers this year. And since I started AirAsia 10 years ago, we've carried 120 million people. That's more than the population of Philippines. So you can't do that just with promo fares. You have to have a consistently
Yes.
good value product.
Okay, okay. We talked a lot about the importance of Philippines in AirAsia's network all over the all over Asia, because this is like your fourth
Yes.
local
Joint
unit,
venture.
Yes.
joint venture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, can you give us a big picture of where the Philippines stand as far as long-term
Yeah.
plans of AirAsia, the group,
Yes.
is concerned?
So basically, we draw about 4-hour circles around each airport. So our economic model is to fly within 4 hours. So obviously, 4 hours from Kuala Lumpur, 4 hours from Jakarta, you can't reach a lot of ASEAN. And you're just about reaching Clark from Manila, from Kuala Lumpur. It's 3 hours 30, 3 hours 40 minutes. We see Philippines being the furthest east of ASEAN and the final piece of our jigsaw puzzle. So from Clark, you are within 3 hours of probably the most prosperous part of China, Korea, Japan, and obviously a large part of ASEAN. So we see a massive market that can now be brought into the Philippines. And not just from traditional cities. There's so many new cities in Korea, so many cities in Japan, so many cities in China that have never had direct connectivity to the Philippines. And that's what we'll be looking to start. And also, you'll see from our strategy, we don't necessarily just have one hub. We started a hub in Indonesia, in Bandung, when no one ever flew to. We now have 36 flights a day out of Bandung. It was just Air Force planes flying there. Now AirAsia has created a whole new market. So there are plenty of towns and cities in Philippines that eventually could have direct connectivity to other parts of the world and other parts of Philippines. Over the last 24 hours, because obviously this has been a long wait, and Ma'an got the brunt of a lot of SMSs and emails and stuff from me. But it also means that, one of the reasons that, as I said, all good things take a while. But when I came down here yesterday, I got a real buzz. And I'm not someone who does a lot of market research and does a lot of statistical analysis. I feel a lot. Maybe that's from my music background.
You got feel, you
And
depend
yeah,
on
and
you.
coming into Manila today, talking to passengers on my flight, meeting the staff, getting a sense of where we are, I got a real buzz. And after this, we have a shareholders meeting where really my focus is to talk to the other shareholders about speeding up our airline here. Very optimistic.
Lala, out there, you're seeing now the AK flight. That's the Malaysian AirAsia flight coming in from Kuala Lumpur. And as Tony said, there's sales of this route from KL to Clark jumped up because of the new routes now that we have. So there's a number of those people are going to be going on to Kalibo and to Davao. And so it just grows exponentially.
Yeah, I couldn't get a flight yesterday. I had to go in the jump seat in the end. And generally, we've always had seats to Clark. It's now getting tough. And in fact, we're hopefully to put a second flight between Clark and KL. So the multiplier effect of having a network, and when we have Clark Singapore, we have a big network in Singapore, so people will be able to fly all over the place very easily. I can do 4 countries in one day now.
Right. Considering the routes that you started, today what you've started and your plans, these are routes that Cebu Pacific and Sea Air and Airfield Express are already more or less servicing. But they're doing it from, the others are doing it from Manila, and you're doing it from Clark. What is as far as the passenger is concerned, what is the difference between getting booking a ticket with AirAsia and with them, considering you have
I tell you one thing that no one has talked about. It's a joy coming to this airport versus Naia. just to go through immigration, passport, it's easy here, right? You're out of your plane and you can be in your car in 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
That's one. Two is, Manila is a massive city, and Philippines is actually a huge population, right? So within the central Luzon area, which is where we are, there's 13 million people. So for a lot of people, Naiya is not exactly the easiest airport to get to.
Okay.
So that I think is a big plus. Two is, I keep saying it, we think the market is huge. So what is being served right now is not scratching the whole of the market. We think the market can be bigger, and Martin's just illustrated that we've created a new market by a lot of those passengers coming out from KL have never been to the Philippines, and because of our connectivity to Calabu and Davao, and later Puerto Princesa, which we think Palawan is going to be a massive route for our network. There are going to be a lot of people who never dreamt of coming, but because we provide flights from KL, from Singapore, from Bangkok, they'll say, oh, okay, I'll go to Palawan now. I'll stay here, change planes, and go to Palawan.
Okay. You decided to finally add Philippines in your network after you met with President Aquino. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, and I mean, today when I was listening to his address, you know, I was really vindicated. I went out publicly and said that it gave me so much confidence. Here's a man who really put his people first, put his country first, and saw what was good for his country. And I felt a liberal air of reform coming into the Philippines in terms of openness. And one very key word, which I fought for many times around the world, and here's the president saying it before I asked for it, a level playing field. And that resonated a lot for me. It was in 10 years I've never had a level playing field. So it was tremendous to hear that. I have to say his whole government, from the Minister of Tourism, Secretary Ma, have been very pro-business and very pro the people. And that's made investing in this country much easier. I also want to say one thing that I'm very proud of. I've been getting lots of emails and tweets from OFWs and also Filipinos who have worked in other airlines in the Middle East and other parts of Asia. They all want to return and come back and help us grow, and saying they feel that AirAsia helps the people by providing more connectivity, and they want to be part of this adventure. That's fantastic for me to receive.
Okay. Oh, well, that's all that we have time for this chat. Let me give you our last few seconds for your message to the public, to the Filipinos in particular.
Well, for me, you know, thank you for allowing us to come in. I hope we do you guys proud. We will work very hard, very, very hard. We're very accessible. I'm on Twitter. I've received a lot today. I gave a couple of free tickets away. And Facebook. So we welcome your comments. We welcome your suggestions. We want you to be very much part of this airline and part of this adventure. And we'll work together with you to make flying more fun.
And we at Philippines AirAsia, this is one of the happiest, proudest days of our lives, as we've finally taken off. Our wonderful crew and cabin crew and our flight deck, as well as all the people of AirAsia that support us on the ground, from the check-in counters and the people in the office. We are very, very proud of this airline that we've built from the ground up. We're very proud of our partnership with AirAsia, which is the largest and the most successful and best low-cost carrier in this part of the world. They've been voted that 3 years running by Skytrack. So we're going to do our utmost effort to live up to that reputation so we can stand proudly beside them. And I think we Filipinos can do it well because we do love our hospitality, and we do smile a lot, and we are friendly, and we are a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us
Thank
on
you
Talk
very much.
Thursday.
That was fun.
That's Talk Thursday. Visit Rappler.com and tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Lala Rimando. As we say in Rappler, tomorrow begins today.